Good morning, everyone. Please take your seats. We would like to start. Dear colleagues, please take your seats. We would like to start the General Assembly. Good morning, everyone. We are very pleased to have here with us today Mr. Yeoul in Chon, the Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism of South Korea, who will honor us with an opening speech. Minister, please, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism, my name is Yeoul in Chon. Thank you for coming. 안녕하십니까. 문화체육관광부 장관 유인촌입니다. 전 세계 창작자들의 축제라고 할 수 있는 이 CISAC 정기총회가 이 대한민국 서울에서 개최되는 것을 진심으로 기쁘게 생각합니다. 우리 마르셀로 카스텔로 브랑코 이사회 회장님, 가디 오론 사무총장님을 비롯하여 116개국에서 참가하신 225개의 CISAC 회원단체 여러분, 그리고 전 세계 창작자 여러분 모두 반갑습니다. 감사합니다. 20년 만에 서울에서 열리는 이 CISAC 총회에 저는 꼭 오고 싶었고 오늘 이 자리에 참석해서 여러분들을 꼭 만나고 싶었습니다. 과거의 일이 생각날 수밖에 없습니다. 2008년도 제가 당시 장관을 하고 있을 때 대한민국은 저작권 감시 대상국으로 미국의 USTR에 빨간 딱지가 붙어 있던 나라였습니다. 저는 2008년 한 해 동안 우리 국회에서 이 저작권에 관련된 모든 법안을 새로 개정하고 또 이 문화체육관광부의 공무원들을 특수사법경찰 제도를 만들어서 이 저작권 단속을 하기 위한 현장에서의 단속 활동을 비롯해서 당시에는 인터넷의 불법 다운로드가 굉장히 많이 이루어졌을 때라서 인터넷에 관련된 그 법안을 개정하는데 굉장히 많이 힘이 들었던 기억이 있습니다. 1년 동안 이 대한민국의 저작권을 바꾸기 위해서 노력한 결과 2009년 1월 1일 날 미국으로부터 그 USTR에서 대한민국이 이제 저작권 감시 대상국에서 해제가 됐다. 당신네들이 정말 많은 노력을 통해서 대한민국은 이제 저작권 청정국이 됐다라는 그런 연락을 받고 정말 많이 기뻤습니다. 오늘 제가 이 자리에 온 이유도 바로 그런 이유가 있습니다. 정말 이렇게 제가 장관에 취임하면서 가장 첫 번째 한 일이 저작권에 관련된 법 개정이었고 또 그로 인해서 대한민국에서 활동하고 있는 많은 창작자들을 어떻게 보호할 것인가라는 가장 사람들의 인식을 바꾸는 굉장히 중요한 그런 문제를 제기했던 것입니다. 저는 그 당시만 해도 대한민국은 강남 스타일이라는 유명한 노래가 유행하기 전이었고 많은 사람들이 대한민국은 해외로부터 많은 저작물을 가져다 쓰는 걸로만 생각했고 우리의 많은 문화 상품이 해외로 나갈 수 있다는 그런 생각을 하지 못하던 때였습니다. 그렇지만 그 이후에 어쨌든 10여 년의 노력 끝에 지금은 우리의 K-팝 또는 K-컬처라고 할 수 있는 많은 영화, 드라마, 가요, 내지는 문학, 미술, 음악, 무용 이 전 분야에 걸쳐서 대한민국의 문화가 이제 이 대한민국 이 영토를 벗어나서 세계를 무대로 활동을 하고 있다는 말씀을 드립니다. 아마 그 영향력은 아마 CISAC에서 마련한 이 저작권의 여러 가지의 그 좋은 방법이 많이 참고가 됐다. 그래서 오늘 참가하신 우리 CISAC 회장님을 비롯한 여러 관련 단체 여러분께 다시 한번 감사하다는 말씀을 드리고 싶습니다. 제가 이번에 15년 만에 다시 이 정부의 일을 맡으면서 또 하나 느낀 것은 이제 예전에 비해서 환경이 너무나 많이 달라졌다는 것입니다. 그 당시에는 저작권의 가장 기본적인 법을 바꿨다면 이제는 영상 분야에서 OTT 문제를 비롯해서 AI, GT 챗봇을 비롯한 수없이 많은 디지털 환경이 새로운 저작권 문제를 다시 일으키고 있습니다. 저희는 앞으로도 끊임없이 이 저작권에 관련된 모든 새로운 법안과 창작자가 보호받을 수 있는 또 그것이 세계 무대에서 아주 투명하고 정당하게 서로 간의 그 입장으로 보상받을 수 있는 그러한 법과 제도를 정비하려고 합니다. 한국에는 5개 CISAC 회원단체가 있습니다. 음악 분야에는 올해 창립 60주년을 맞는 한국음악저작권협회와 2014년에 출범한 함께하는 음악저작인협회가 활동하고 있고, 문학 및 시각예술 분야에는 한국문학예술저작권협회와 한국미술저작권관리협회가 있습니다. 또 영상 분야에는 한국영화감독조합이 있습니다. 앞으로도 우리 한국 회원단체와 활발한 교류와 협력을 이어가 주시기를 부탁드리겠습니다. 모쪼록 오늘 총회에서 저작권 정책이 나아가야 할 방향에 대한 심도 있는 논의가 이루어지기를 바랍니다. 대한민국 정부도 여러분들의 목소리에 귀 기울여서 저작권의 새로운 지평을 열어가는 일에 앞장서고 또 함께 하겠다는 그런 약속을 드리겠습니다. 저희 대한민국 문화체육관광부는 창작자를 우선으로 보호한다는 그 큰 목적을 앞에 두고 모든 관련된 법을 다시 재정비하고 있다는 말씀을 드리면서 오늘 축사에 가름하겠습니다. 대단히 감사합니다.
Thank you, Minister Yeoul, and thanks again for honoring us with your presence today. The next opening speech is from our President, Björn Ulvaeus. Unfortunately, Björn could not join us in person today, but he did send us a video message that we will now show on the screen.
Good morning to all of you. I am delighted to address you in this video message at the CISAC General Assembly in Seoul. I've now been president of CISAC for 4 years. When I started in the role, I said that I had never been president of anything up until then. I hope I have lived up to the grandeur of the position. I've certainly tried my very best. And I continue to feel passionate about the issues we are working on to serve creators across the world. I would very much have wanted to be with you this morning. This has been impossible, unfortunately. But I am going to try and use my time with you today to share my thoughts about our common priorities in the CISAC community. I hope that I will do that well enough so that you, like an avatar, will almost believe it's me addressing you in person. Korea. We are fortunate this year to be gathered in South Korea and celebrating the 60th anniversary of KOMCA. Korea is without question a cultural powerhouse, admired and envied internationally for its success, both at home and across the world. And KOMCA has been at the forefront of this success, working tirelessly to serve its creators over many years. I've always been intrigued by this extraordinary Korean success story. We see this illustrated in the achievements of K-pop, Korean films, and many other repertoires. Despite a lot of publicity, the question I still ask is, how did this happen? And what are the lessons to be learned across the world? There is perhaps a similarity with other countries, including my native Sweden, which have created a strong business environment for the creative industries. Korea is a place which draws in creative talent, such as K-pop songwriters from other countries. We hear from songwriters of the work ethic of creators in Korea, of the many diverse opportunities for creators to find work and succeed, and a strong copyright framework which has helped nurture an awareness of the value of creativity. All of these qualities perhaps add up to something that we are constantly seeking in our advocacy around the world, respect for the value of the creation and the creator. I hope you will learn more about the Korean wave while in Seoul. Thank you to KOMCA for hosting and organizing this General Assembly. Now to the value of creation. This leads me to the mission that I took on and continue to work for as president of CISAC. Underpinning that mission and all the issues we face is the protection of the creation and of the creator. Every time I take the stage to speak about my work for CISAC, I come back to the extreme challenges faced by creators today compared to my experience at the start of my career. ABBA has very recently celebrated the 50 years since our first ever hit, Waterloo. That single performance at the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974 launched our career. Everything since then has been an incredible experience. The fulfillment from creating songs that bring joy to people around the world is very hard to describe. As working songwriters and artists, Waterloo in 1974 was the pivotal moment in our career. It led to the luxury of many months crafting songs and perfecting our art. We barely needed to worry about our profile or where our next royalty check would come from. But today, that luxury, except for a tiny minority, is not the experience for creators. In the streaming world, achieving a big hit is harder than ever. Getting a royalty check at all has never been more challenging. So too is securing the time and space to create and improve. Instead, it's a constant pressure to market and monetize. Truth is that making a living as a creator is impossible for most. The good news is that streaming is making more money for the creative sector than ever before. Revenues are at record levels and growing steadily. But is that exciting picture of the industry being felt at the coal face by the vast majority of creators? We know it is not. And our job on behalf of the creators is to try and fix things and make the conditions they work in more fair and more efficient. There are flaws in the data which mean royalties that should go in creators' pockets are lost in the system. There are technology giants which too often see copyright and authors' rights as dispensable collateral in the advance of technology. There are governments and regulators under constant pressure from the users of creative works to weaken copyright laws and creators' rights. And there are the members of our societies, young aspiring creators who need our help to better understand their rights and how to succeed. These are just some of the challenges we face, which define CISAC's priorities, and which our community standing together must address. I have made many speeches about fixing our metadata problems, and I'm pleased to see the progress that's being made, and this issue is very high on CISAC's agenda. I see the continued work to get all the parties across the value chain to adopt the ISWC. This is extending from societies to publishers and now to digital service providers. This year has also seen the takeover of the SysNet tools by CISAC. This has been a huge amount of work, the Secretariat and the societies. It's a very welcome step. It opens up new opportunities to adapt and modernize the tools to the fast-changing needs of societies. These projects remain incredibly important to creators. We must keep the momentum, creating and improving tools to ensure fast and accurate payment of our member creators. There is no alternative. This has to be done. And I'm pleased to see the progress of the last year. And then, of course, there is AI, the top priority for CISAC and for all of us. And no doubt the issue that will most dominate in your discussions in Seoul. AI is not just another technological leap forward. It's the biggest revolution we've ever seen. Everyone across the creative sector is obsessed with AI, and rightly so. What a difference 12 months makes in this discussion. At the 2023 General Assembly in Mexico last June, I addressed the impact of AI in my keynote speech and on panels. And I felt I was saying something new. Today, recalling that speech, it already feels like ancient history. Last year, we had great discussions agreeing that AI is a potential wonderful tool as long as it is used to serve and not to replace creators' rights. We established key principles to advise legislators and regulators. These were followed almost immediately by CISAC, which published its open letter to governments. We agreed the most important single action by CISAC must be to secure creators their seat at the negotiating table. And we agreed CISAC has a vital leadership role to play, especially in educating policymakers. 12 months on, we have had a year of intense discussions with governments. I have met heads of state and ministers from several countries. My message has not been that we are looking to stop generative AI. No, it was and has to be more positive than that. AI can enhance human creativity. However, AI operators must never be allowed to train on copyrighted works without the permission and remuneration of rights holders. I've been really impressed in my meetings with politicians. In January this year, I flew to Brussels to meet the Belgian Prime Minister, Alexandre de Croo. This was just as his country took on the role of EU presidency and as it guided through the EU AI directive. I found the Prime Minister highly engaged and knowledgeable about our issues. I also liked his style. He presented me as a gift some bottles of triple blonde beer called Waterloo. A nice touch from one president to another. 12 months ago, our discussions on AI were about principles: authorization of the creator, payment for copyright material used by AI tools, and transparency obligations on AI operators. Now the debate has moved on. Legislation is upon us. And thanks in large part to the advocacy of the CISAC community, the EU AI directive has provided a great framework and an example for the world. Now we need to work harder than ever to secure similar outcomes in other jurisdictions, the US, Japan, Brazil, Canada, and of course here in Korea. I am pleased that CISAC has shown leadership, and it must continue to do so. There are many unknowns about AI and how it will shape and change the creative industries, but I have no doubt it's going to be a huge change. There is so much to do to adapt to this transformation and protect human creators. Once again, we cannot stop AI tools, but by making sure creators keep their seat at the table, we can monetize it and make it serve great creativity. So thank you everyone once again for listening to me. I hope you have a very successful and enjoyable CISAC General Assembly, and I hope to join you physically next time.
It is now my great pleasure to invite to the stage the chairman of the CISAC Board of Directors, Marcelo Castello Branco. Marcelo, please.
Thank you, Gadi. It's always difficult to talk after Bjorn, even if he's in video. Amnyaha Senyo. I hope I got it right. Good morning, everyone. I want to express my heartfelt thanks to KOMCA for hosting this event. It is truly an honor to be here today on this mind-blowing country, which offers so much to learn. Korea is setting a new standard this century, being the first country these days to showcase how culture and entertainment can power economies and influence globally. It's surely the first to be able to take the tools of digital and social networks to another level of engagement. This new and very original masterclass of soft power is what makes South Korea unique these days. We are privileged to be here at this point in time in history. Let's take advantage of the experience. We may never pass this way again. I also want to thank Bjorn and the 4 vice presidents that are here today, Angela Gonzalez, Cindy, Arturo Marquez, and Mr. Fukuoji, for their presence and support. On behalf of all CISAC members, thank you for your time and dedication to our cause. The Asia-Pacific region stands out as the most dynamic market within CISAC. It has rapidly emerged as the 3rd largest market after Europe and North America, contributing 15% of global collections with impressive year-on-year growth. With 3 of its society on the CISAC board, KOMCA, JASRAC, and NAPRA, we are lucky to have a well-rounded view of the region. According to CISAC Global's collection report, 7 of the top 10 leading markets for digital collections are located in Asia, showcasing the region's substantial influence and potential. This extends beyond the societies I mentioned. I had the opportunity to participate a little bit in the Asian Pacific meeting this week and truly appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me to do so. KOMCA has been a key driver of digital license, ranking 3rd in Asian collections behind Japan and Australia. Korean collections saw a remarkable growth of 22% in 2022 compared to the previous years. More than that, in 2021, the Oxford English Dictionary introduced 26 new words of Korea origin, including Hallyu, or the Korean wave, highlighting Korea's growing cultural impact on a global scale. Let's make no mistake, Korea is here to stay. During the challenging times of the pandemic, KOMCA played a vital role in licensing online concerts, supporting the success of K-pop artists who continue to engage global audience and break boundaries. The Asia-Pacific region is a significant force in the music industry. Its growing potential should not be underestimated. We are all excited to witness this region's continued success and development. We are currently undergoing a paramount period of transformation in the creative sector, not only the sector, but all across, with the rise of artificial intelligence capturing the attentions of record labels, publishers, and CMOs. No one wants to miss the train. We all realize that at this point, there are much more burning questions than answers, and our members are demanding actions and have many questions, as they have every right to do so. We better be comfortable being uncomfortable and embrace innovation without hesitation. It is even hard to talk about global regulation when technology does not give us a break. This is the new landscape we must deal with, and it's going to take some time before we sort it out. I will let Gadi elaborate more on that, as this will be a dominant part of our day's agenda, and I do not want to be redundant and anticipate things here. But rest assured that at CISAC, our board is fully aware of the importance of this issue and has directed our secretariat to prioritize lobbying efforts, conduct an economic study, and collaborate with other sectors and international organizations to develop global campaigns. There is nothing, but nothing more important now than addressing this as a global community, and I truly believe that together we are in a better position to weather any storm ahead. I'm also pleased to announce that CISAC has completed the takeover of CISNET from Fast Track, a significant milestone that underscores the trust placed in us by Fast Track shareholders. This transition signifies the commitment of major society towards collaborating with all members of our community. As we look towards the future, we are actively discussing the tools we need to stay competitive with upholding the community values in the face of growing competition. This is a more global market than ever, and an open market remind us of the complex ecosystem in which we operate. Embracing change and meeting our members' demand is essential as we navigate uncertain waters. Although CISAC is about to celebrate its 100th anniversary soon, we should not only rely on our past. The future matters most to us, and more importantly, to our creators. This is the core reason we are gathering here today at Seoul, to ensure we protect their livelihoods, rights, and talent so they continue to amaze the global audience. Our challenge is to remain focused on serving the interests of individual creators, a unique characteristic of our societies that we should never underestimate or ignore. The CISAC board is dedicated to supporting our big, medium, and small nonprofit members while adapting to this never-ending, evolving market. This issue remains a top priority in all of our meetings, and this one is no different. Thank you for your attention. Let us move ahead together, embracing the future with an open mind and advocating for the interests of the creators we take pride in represent. Kamsahamnida. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcelo. And for the final opening speech, it is a true pleasure to invite to the stage our very generous host this week, Mr. Yeoul, the chairman of KOMCA. Please.
Honorable CISAC members, distinguished guests, colleagues in the copyright industry and the creative community. I am Yeoul, chairman of KOMCA. It's such an honor to welcome you all here in Seoul today for the opening of this meaningful General Assembly. This year's CISAC General Assembly, being held in Korea for the first time in 2 decades, marks a historic milestone for the Korean copyright industry. Your presence itself makes this event meaningful, and the hard work and passion of the global community of creators has never been more palpable. First, I would extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Chon, Minister of Culture, Sports, and Tourism of Korea, for his unwavering commitment to protecting and fortifying the rights of the creative community in Korea. CISAC is a strong umbrella that brings creator societies together. I would like to thank President Björn for his video message today and for his powerful influence on improving the lives of creators worldwide. As a member of the copyright industry and a musician, I offer my deepest respect to him. Also, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Director General Gadi, Board Chair Marcelo, and CISAC Vice Presidents present today for their continuous dedication to improving the present and future of this important organization, and for taking precious actions to enhance copyright system worldwide. I would also like to thank all KOMCA creators and board members present today who are always giving so much support. This year is especially meaningful since it marks the 60th anniversary of KOMCA. The age of 60 is a particularly significant number in Korea. In Korean culture, the age of 60 symbolizes return. Turning 60 is the beginning of old age, but it also signifies a new beginning of life. Similarly, celebrating the 60th anniversary, KOMCA has built on its past and is now working to build on its future. We hope you will join us here to support us on our journey. I hope with the success of this historic General Assembly today, we will once again reaffirm the importance of the copyright protection and contribute to creating an environment where creators are protected in the digital age and especially in the era of AI. I encourage each of you to generously share your insight and experiences, inspiring one another to greater heights. Once again, it is a great pleasure for KOMCA to welcome you to Korea. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chu. And before I give the Director General report, I would just like to extend a big thank you on behalf of everyone for the wonderful evening you've organized for us yesterday. Thank you. So I would like to say that, first of all, that it's wonderful to see so many of you here today with us. I know that some of you had to travel from very far. Quite a few of you spent more than 30 hours on planes to get here today. So thanks very much for making the effort. I would also like to welcome all our members who are watching the live stream now. And I would like in particular to thank our three vice presidents who are with us here today, Angeles Gonzalez-Sinde, Arturo Marquez, and Kazuhiko Fukuoji. Thanks for joining us. And so I would like to open my report with a short video.
Oh, this is one of your favorite songs, American Pie. We wanted to hear you sing it.
It's been a while, but...
A long, long time ago, I can still remember how the music used to make me smile. And now I knew if I had my chains, that I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while. February made me shiver with the paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I tried when I read about his willow bride. Something touched me deep inside the day the music died.
Don't expect me to sing his song.
제가 노래하는 건 기대하지 마십시오.
So this was about a year ago at the White House. And I find this scene with the president of South Korea singing in English, I find it very symbolic. It shows how through art and music, bridges are built, relationships are made, and influence is gained. But it is also symbolic because while American culture has for decades spread around the world and penetrated every possible market, in the last 10 years or so, we've seen the same thing happening with Korean culture. And while the Korean president may be singing a very Western and a very American song, the West is flooded with Korean content. There's an influx of Korean drama on Netflix, Korean films are taking over Hollywood, and K-pop artists are becoming the biggest pop acts in the world. South Korean music, films, and TV series spread around the world like fire. The film Parasite was the first foreign film ever to win the Oscar for the Best Picture. Squid Game became the most watched Netflix series of all time. Gangnam Style was the first YouTube video to exceed 1 billion views, and it is still one of the top 10 most watched videos of all time. And BTS, Blackpink, Stray Kids, Red Velvet, Girls' Generation, 17, and many, many other Korean groups are topping the charts, selling out stadiums, and are responsible for the majority of the best-selling music albums. It is no wonder that the New York Times called Korea, or said that Korea transformed into an entertainment juggernaut. But this was not by coincidence. It was not by sheer chance or a stroke of luck. There was a deliberate, well-planned, and very intentional strategy designed and initiated by the government to boost the creative sector. The creative sector was targeted for strategic development, globalization, and exportation. And it didn't happen overnight. In fact, it can be traced as back as 1994, when a government report noted that the box office revenues from one Hollywood blockbuster, Jurassic Park, generated more income than all foreign sales of Hyundai cars. What followed was a major investment and a diversion of state budget to the Korean creative sector. In some years, the government invested more than $5 billion in the cultural sector. The government looked at films and music not just as art, but also as export, as a driver of consumption, and as a magnet for tourism. The success of Korean culture across the world is the outcome of a calculated plan to turn the creative sector into an economic powerhouse. A former South Korean foreign minister, Yoon Myung-won, said, along with diplomatic efforts focused on national defense in the 1980s and the economy and trade in the 1990s, culture will be the third pillar of diplomatic power in the 21st century. He was talking about soft power. Soft power is defined by the Oxford English Dictionary as power deriving from economic and cultural influence. The growing popularity of Korean content has given it enormous soft power. It is influencing behavior. It is attracting investments. It brings tourism. It has positive impact on other industries like cosmetics and beauty products, virtual media, esports, lifestyle, fashion, food, and beverages. Cultural exports have become a major contributor to South Korea's economy. In 2020, it was reported that BTS's song Dynamite contributed $1.4 billion to the Korean economy and created 8,000 new jobs. And this is just one song. The moral of this story is as simple as it is strong. Culture is power. Art is not only about our identity, pride, or prestige. It attracts investment. It generates economic value, and it gives influence. Korea has worked very hard to reap the rewards of a strong cultural sector, and KOMCA, our South Korean society, has worked very hard to be part of this success. They have reinvented themselves in a very short period of time and turned from a small and fairly unknown society into one of the leaders of the CISAC network and one of the top 10 highest earning societies. We are hosting our General Assembly here in Seoul today to celebrate their meteoric rise and their success and to thank them for playing such a big role in our community. Last year, we had an unforgettable General Assembly in Mexico, and one topic dominated our agenda: artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence remained our top priority and a key area of our work since then, and 12 months on, a lot has been achieved. We have set out our principles on AI, and we are playing an influential role globally. We focus our efforts on lobbying work. This includes liaising with politicians at the highest levels of government. No one delivers our position better than the creators themselves, so within this debate on AI, CISAC turned to the power of creators to push our message. Our president, Björn Ulvaeus, helped us a lot to reach key forms of influence. In October last year, he met with the Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis in Athens to discuss AI. And earlier this year, in January, he met, as he mentioned in his opening video, with the Belgian Prime Minister, Alexander De Croo. He met him just ahead of the vote, the very important vote on the EU AI Act. Our Vice President Ángeles González Cinde was also closely involved and helped us to deliver our message at a major event that was held in Paris at the headquarters of UNESCO on AI. And in addition to all of these public events and lobbying, we are also responding to every consultation on artificial intelligence around the world. At UN level and from the US and Canada to China and Japan and many countries in between, we take every opportunity to submit our position, to remind decision makers about the interests of creators, and to support our local members with their own domestic lobbying on artificial intelligence. Another key achievement for us in the last 12 months, and it was mentioned already briefly by Marcelo, that achievement involves CISNET. As we highlighted to you at last year's General Assembly, the boards of CISAC and FastTrack took a historic decision to transfer the ownership of CISNET to CISAC. This was a very important move that came after very long discussions at with both FastTrack shareholders and our non-FastTrack societies. Dealing with this transfer was extraordinarily complex. However, I am pleased to say today that it was completed on time, on budget, and without any disruption to the service. This was a great success for us at CISAC. Not only we delivered a smooth transition of the ownership, but we've already started to focus on the future. Now that CISAC is the owner of CISNET, we can work with our members to determine the direction and the design of a new and improved system. And the key focus now is not only on how we are going to improve things, but also who we will do it with, who are going to be our partners and the external developers that we will trust to help us in this process. So we have launched a consultation with societies on what needs to be modernized, and we are also conducting an extensive review of software developers that we can potentially work with. Another area which remains an important priority for us is the ISWC. After the major upgrade of the ISWC system, we've been successfully pushing the ISWC codes to increase adoption first by societies, then by publishers, and now by DSPs and third parties. Our goal is to have the ISWC adopted across the entire value chain, and we are making good progress. As you know, we introduced the resolution service for publishers to match and correct their own information for back catalog works against our ISWC database. The take-up improves every year, and the service is now being used by a growing number of publishers. Another service, the ISWC allocation service for publishers, is also fully operational. It enables publishers to obtain ISWC codes almost immediately for new releases, and 31 publishers are now actively using this service. And we've recently moved to promoting the use of ISWCs by third parties. For the first time, tech companies and DSPs will be able to obtain ISWCs in bulk and integrate them into their own databases. This will support accurate reporting from music streaming platforms and in turn will help societies collect more and distribute more to affiliates. We are also using CISAC's global position to help regional and national projects around the ISWC. Here in Asia, we are supporting GDSDX, the data matching system, which now involves 10 Asian societies and will soon extend outside Asia. And another important project is underway for provisional status ISWCs. This project supports the assignment of ISWC codes on the day of release of the song directly to record labels. It started as a successful proof of concept that was initiated by PRS in the UK, and we are now extending it globally and are working with a group of societies to turn it into an international and global CISAC tool. Now, you all know that 2022 was a record-breaking year for us with an amazing increase in the collections, and from all the indications we have and from all the reports that came out already from you, from the societies, we know that this trend continued in 2023 and also continues in the first part of this year. But a growing market with more revenues also means more pressure and more competition. And that is something we have to face. We are witnessing more and more commercial entities who see the potential of our market and are trying to get into our world. Wall Street bankers are suddenly very interested in our sector and in what we are doing. Private equity is no longer content with just buying catalogs or buying rights. They're also buying societies. This was not the case a couple of years ago, and it has profound implications for this community. It brings more challenges for societies who operate on a non-profit basis, who cannot raise capital and who need to finance any investment in their capacities from their own royalty collections. This is also a big challenge for us at CISAC. We need to stay loyal to the core principles of collective management, but at the same time, we need to adapt to the market reality and prepare for the future. A few years ago, we adopted a reform of our rules that allows commercial rights management entities to become clients of CISAC. Since then, we've learned a lot from our experience. This experience puts us in a better place to monitor the use of our systems by those commercial entities. And we are also actively evaluating their compliance with the terms and conditions that they signed with us. And we gained better knowledge of their operations. As more commercial entities are entering our world, we are more attentive and we are more prudent in the way in which we address these market developments and the way these entities are using our systems. This is why we've started working on a package of changes that will update the nature of the relationship we have with them and the fees that they pay to CISAC. And I will say this was not part of the voting of this General Assembly, but I wanted to let you know, and I wanted you to be aware that this issue is on the top of our agenda, and that changes will come, and will come very soon. Besides the extensive work that we are doing on AI, on technology, and on all of these market developments, CISAC has been highly active on the lobbying front. We are dealing with a very wide range of issues at an international, regional, and national levels, and we have helped and supported countless societies during the past 12 months on issues such as buyouts, private copying, scope of rights, exceptions, and many others. We also intervened against the attempts of some governments to nationalize collective management. Unfortunately, this still happens in some countries, and when it does, we are always there to support our society in fighting against it. And we also continue working on priorities for all repertoires, including the audiovisual right of remuneration and the visual artist's resale right. I cannot cover everything. A lot of the things that I mentioned will be covered in more detail in the panels and presentations that we've organized for today. But I will mention that in the documents that we circulated before the assembly, you have reports from each and every department at CISAC, including from all of the regional offices. And so with that, I would like to conclude, and I will conclude with a few words of thanks. First of all, a big thank you to Björn Ulvaeus for all of his incredible enthusiasm, energy, and hard work on behalf of CISAC. I would also like to thank our 4 vice presidents, Angeles Gonzalez-Sinde, Yvonne Chaka, Kazuhiko Fukuoji, and Arturo Marquez. I would like to thank my wonderful team, the team that we have in Paris and in the regional offices, for all of their hard work, their dedication, and their passion. I have an exceptional team, and I'm very proud and very lucky to have them. I would also like to thank the board of directors. We have an excellent board, and there's a very good dynamic, and the board is very proactive, and I'd like to thank them for all of their support. A special thank you to KOMCA for organizing this great week. I would like to thank Mr. Chu and his amazing team. They've been working very, very hard in the last couple of months. And finally, I would like to thank all of you who are here today and all of you who are watching it online. I would like to thank you for your continued support, and I hope you enjoyed this General Assembly. Thank you.